Greetings, name's Lizzie. I'm mainly known for being a comic artist on Tumblr, but I haven't always been that way. When I was younger, I always wanted to become a game developer, and today I'm gonna tell you about some of my very first games that don't really exist anymore. Some of you might know a tool called the RPG Maker. I'm specifically gonna talk about the RPG Maker 2000 and 2003 since that's the one I used myself. Also, I don't really like the aesthetic of the newer ones. For those who don't know, the RPG Maker is a program that lets you easily create 2D role-playing games, hence the name. When I was younger, I played a ton of RPG Maker games. And while I don't play them anymore myself, I still am interested to see them. You know, I watch streams and let's plays on YouTube and stuff. As I said, I always wanted to be a game developer, so of course I made my own games using the RPG Maker. I got it on Steam, by the way. I guess this would be the point where I show you the games I made. The problem is that I never completed any game. But I still remember working on some games. In one of them the main goal was to travel the world and finding several magic towers to do something there and save the world from great evil, I guess. And that's all I remember about that game. Now, another game I worked on that I want to talk about in this video is called Chronicles: Cash Tale. I remember a lot more about this game, mainly because it's only been a few years since I worked on it. Back then, I wanted to create a game that stands out in the sea of generic bad RPGs that dominated the German RPG Maker community at the time. And how did I do that, you might ask? Well, for one, it wasn't actually an RPG. It was going to be a point-and-click adventure-like puzzle game. The main character would be a slime monster, one of the generic RPG Maker standard enemies, by the way. In the beginning of the game, you would start as a lone adventurer who happens to run into a big slime, accompanied by smaller slimes. That would be the first boss, and you would fight them with the standard battle system. At this point, the player would probably think that this is just another generic RPG, but after the battle, the adventurer would loot the boss and leave. One of the smaller slimes managed to survive by hiding in the bushes though. This slime, that's called Cash by the way, with K, let's see, it's not money. Anyway, they will be the main character of the game. The bigger slime will tell them to go to their home and warn their kind about the dangerous foe before he died in a tragic and very sad cutscene probably. By the way, I plan to let the non-human character speak with speech bubbles that had little pictures in it, so there wouldn't be much text and dialogue. So the general structure of the game would be basically that you walk through different areas on your way back to the slime home, and of course you'd have to overcome natural obstacles in a point-and-click like manner. I never really made any actual puzzles or any more maps. I basically just made the intro sequence and some sprites. But I had some ideas for puzzles. Like you had a gap you had to get past, and since slimes can't jump, you would have to somehow build a bridge. Or at one point a bandit duo blocks the way, and you had to distract him to get past them unharmed. I also planned to include some kind of collectible that I can hide in every area. The adventurer from the beginning would act kinda as the final boss, you know, that you had to beat by using the environment in some way. Not sure how that battle would have played out exactly. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say about that game, because as I said, there isn't really much done. And since I probably won't ever work on it again, this will be all you get to see from it. Unless I somehow get really motivated again, who knows. Anyway, that's it for today. Take care of yourself and see ya later!